For thousands of years in North America, the Klamath River flowed wild and powerful from the high desert of Oregon to the fog-lined coast of Northern California. It was more than a river, it was a life source. Salmon surged upriver every year, feeding not only the ecosystem, but the cultures, diets, and identities of the Yurok, Karuk, Hoopa, and Klamath tribes. The river's rhythm guided ceremonies, stories, and entire ways of life. Its waters were a promise passed from one generation to the next. But in the early 20th century, that promise was interrupted. Beginning in 1918, a series of hydroelectric dams, Copco 1, Copco 2, J.C. Boyle, and later Iron Gate, rose across the Klamath. They tamed the river's flow, created reservoirs, and brought electricity and irrigation to a growing region. At the time, it was seen as progress. But progress came with a cost. The dams blocked salmon from reaching more than 400 miles of their ancestral spawning grounds. Reservoirs slowed the river and warmed its waters, creating the perfect recipe for toxic algae blooms. Fish populations plummeted. Traditional harvests collapsed. Tribal communities watched a river central to their identity fade into sickness. Decades passed. Lawsuits were filed, science piled up, tensions rose between water stakeholders, and the salmon continued to disappear. But through it all, the tribes held firm. They fought in courts, in public meetings, and on the riverbanks. And slowly, something extraordinary happened. A coalition formed. Tribal nations, environmental groups, states, federal agencies, and even the dam owner, PacifiCorp, came together with a shared vision to heal the Klamath. In 2016, that vision became a formal agreement. And in 2023, the largest dam removal project in American history began. One by one, the old concrete giants came down. By late 2024, the Klamath River was free-flowing for the first time in more than a century. Almost immediately, the river began to respond. Sediment washed downstream, reshaping channels that had been still for generations. Deer tracks and otter slides appeared in places that had been underwater. Hillsides once drowned beneath reservoirs began to sprout with native grasses and wildflowers. And then something once unthinkable happened. Salmon returned, swimming upriver into places where no salmon had passed in over 100 years. The story of the Klamath River is a story of loss, yes, but also of resilience. It's a story of how a community, led by the people who have lived along its banks since time immemorial, refused to give up on a river that had given them everything. And now, as the water runs clear and cold once again, the Klamath isn't just recovering, it's being reborn. This is perhaps the greater lesson. When left to its own devices, nature will heal itself. Like and subscribe for more stories that should be famous.